Hello you guys, Mary Ann here with Shopping Crafty. It's the end of another week, so it is time to look over my budget. Alright, here we go. What did I spend money on? Okay, so this week I had the $272 left over from last week, and I made $582. So that left me with $854 to work with this week, which is great. I spent $26 on gas, $67 on dining out. It was date night, and we went a little overboard. So we're gonna have to be on a really tight budget for the next couple of weeks. But we were both really hungry, so instead of sharing something like was the plan, we each got our own thing. Okay, groceries, $70. That's pretty good. You can see it's not so good the next week, but we won't worry about that. $70 on groceries. It brought it down to $691. And then down here at the bottom, I paid my student loan, $229, and I put $78 towards my savings for the savings challenge that I have over here. Paid that. Next week it's just $6 again, so that will be good. So that left me with $384 going in to next week. Now, there were a couple things on here. So eating out, I also included, it was $54 that we spent on date night. I spent $6 at the zoo and $7 at work on food. And then I also spent $115 at the mechanic, $14 on a lift, and some soda that I spent money on. Now, that is not over here because it was my boyfriend's car at the mechanic. One morning, he woke up, left for work, or so I thought, and then a couple minutes later, the phone started ringing, and it was him, and he had rolled down his window and couldn't get it to roll back up. Now, that might not seem like such a crazy problem. Sounds like something you can make through the day, but for him, his job as a PA is to make a lot of runs for the company he works for, load up his car with their stuff, transport it, but he makes different stops along the way. So he can't leave his car with his company's stuff in it with the window open. That would not work. So he borrowed my car, and I had to take his car to the mechanic and go to work. So I took a lift to and from the mechanic, and then I paid for the bill and soda that we needed for the apartment. He asked me to pick some up, so I did that. And that just, the cool thing about that was I easily had that money in my emergency fund. He would have had to put it on a credit card because he doesn't have an emergency fund right now, and he didn't have his paycheck for the week yet. But he got it and paid me back with the money from his paycheck instead of putting this on his credit card and probably not paying it off right away. So I already have this $14 plus $115 plus $3 for soda. I already have that back and in my account. And it was barely even a blip. I didn't have to put it over here. It didn't affect my budget at all. I just wanted to mark down that it happened. Also, this week was the first time I've used my Ralph's fuel points at the gas station. I thought that I needed the big card for it. Turns out I don't. You can just enter in your account number off of the keychain one. So I probably could have saved a lot of money over the past couple years using my fuel points, but now I know, and now I will use them when I am at participating gas stations. So that's cool, I guess. That's progress. I shouldn't hold it against myself that I haven't been using it. I should be glad that I'm using it now. That will be good. So that was my week, short and sweet. I'm definitely going over grocery budget this month, but I think I'm gonna have to adjust the numbers again for next month. I'm trying to figure out how much I can reasonably expect to buy. I've been meal planning now, so that means I have enough meals set aside for a week, and I think normally I just sort of hope that the food I'm buying gets me through, and that will lead to a lot more eating out and things like that. I'm trying to meal plan, and it seems that it's actually increasing my budget. But some of this is extraneous expenses and household purchases, so it's complicated, and I'm figuring it out, but it's just gonna take a little bit of time. So that was my week. I don't think it was too terrible. I think it was actually a really good week, and being able to use the emergency fund for this and have it not even be a blip for me. It seemed like a big deal for him. It didn't affect me at all, other than having to take a lift somewhere and drop off a car and answer the phone when the guy called with his estimate. It barely affected me, and it worked out because the mechanic said the car wouldn't be ready until 5:30. I was at work at 11:30 and was technically cut by 12:30, but I had only made $15 in tips, and that's not including the tip outs I had to give the bartender and the bussers. And so I asked the closer for that shift if they wanted me to stay for them. So I ended up working instead until 4:35-ish, and I made over $100. So it ended up being really good for my budget because it increased my income, both hourly and tips, and made the timing work for the mechanic. So overall, I think it was actually a positive happening for me. For him, he's still out that money, but at least he didn't put it on credit. Yay! All right, I will talk to you guys again soon and show you my budget for next week. Thanks.